Welcome back to another edition of Baseball for Maniacs. This is going to be the Philadelphia Phillies versus Texas Rangers series recap. I'm going to be doing series recaps for the entire year. So unfortunately, the Phillies dropped 2 out of 3 to the Rangers, won the first and lost the last 2 games. And then the kind of layout of these episodes are going to be, I'm going to go through each game individually, and then at the end, I'm going to take some series takeaways, some positives, some negatives, some quotes that I feel like are worth mentioning. Any big things that happened in the series I'll talk about. Before I get into game one, I kind of just want to set the tone of this episode. If you're panicking after one series, dude, you have to understand that this is baseball. Granted, was I frustrated as hell yesterday watching Aaron Nola give up those 2 long balls? Was I frustrated seeing Jesus Luzardo get rocked today? Absolutely. And the thing about being a Phillies fan is in the moment, you're not going to be any less upset if it's a game in March, game in April, game in May. But once you kind of like give it some time, it's been an hour since game time, just sit back, relax, kind of understand. We're 1-2. The Mets are 2-1. We're going to be fine. Now, does the offense scare me? Yes, but the offense kind of scared me going into the season. They are who they are, to where it's like, if they're going to win in October, their offense has to come through. Are they going to do it? I don't know. But if they would have went 3-0, right? And the offense would have looked great. Of course, the tone of this episode would have been much happier, much more joyous, but I could already see Phillies fans on Twitter. And if you want to go to the dark depths of hell, go to Phillies Twitter after a loss. It is unbelievable what these people are saying. The season's over, fire David Dombrowski into the sun. Kind of agree with the last part. But if they would have went 3-0, those same fans complaining, they would have had the energy of like, doesn't mean anything, do it in October. To where it's kind of like a lose-lose situation for the dark side of Phillies Twitter or just Phillies fandom in general, to where I think the audience I'm speaking to is the logical Phillies fan, if there is one, because I'm not a logical Phillies fan. I think compared to the greater scheme of fans I am, but I'm going to get upset. I'm going to lose my mind over a game in March and April. Not these games. Like, none of these games really pissed me off, but let's get into it. I covered the Phillies opening day win on my last episode on this page about the Phils, but I'll go through it for some of you guys that might have missed it. One, just great to be back in the ballpark. Like, the stadium was rocking. Of course, Schwarber hit that home run. And in that moment, it really just felt like, okay, we're back. Like 2026 is 2026, 25 happened, but this is a new journey. And it was just, it's always great when Schwarber hits a Schwarbomb. Christopher Sanchez shove. I think the most positive thing about this series was just watching Christopher Sanchez pitch. He is now the favorite to win the National League Cy Young because Paul Skeens got lit up. Yamamoto didn't do too well in his start, to where just appreciate what we have in Christopher Sanchez. And Zach Wheeler pitched in Lehigh Valley yesterday. He went 3 innings scoreless, to where I'm telling you guys, that 1-2 punch, if Zach Wheeler returns to who Zach Wheeler is, the offense can score 1 or 2 runs. Those 2 pitchers can win those 2 games. If you can win 2 games in the series, 5 or 7, you have a damn good shot to win that individual series, to where just be grateful for what we have in the sense of those 2 starting pitchers. Alec Boehm had that 3-run home run in game 1 to give us a 5-0 lead, and that ended up being the game-winning swing because we won 5-3. Alec Boehm's swing looked really good in game 1, struggled a little bit towards the end of the series. I think Alec Boehm is going to be who Alec Boehm is, to where I predicted that in my Phillies preview. Alec Boehm's a good player. Is he your typical 4-hitter? No. But going into Bryce Harper, we'll get into that later in the episode, is Bryce Harper your typical 3-hitter? Because he struggled, and he looked late on the fastball. Excuse me, but I'm not too worried about Bryce, but you can kind of tell, like, this ain't the same Bryce Harper. Will he get out of it? I think he will. And the thing about Bryce Harper is, as long as he's just good in October, that's what he's going to be judged on. But Alec Boehm's going to be fine. Justin Crawford was my favorite thing to watch out of these 3 games, because Justin Crawford, and I've always said this, he's never going to be a superstar, but I think he has the tools to be just a damn good, effective major league player. His like ceiling for me is Steven Kwan, which is a really good player. Had 2 hits on opening day, but with Justin Crawford, what he really impressed me was the way he played defense in center field. That catch in game 2 was unbelievable, to where him batting ninth, him being able to turn over the line, just be a tough out, is going to be very beneficial for this Philadelphia Phillies lineup. Duran came in for the save game 1. Duran pitched well. We'll get into game 2. But overall, the Phillies started off the year very well. Now let's get into game 2. Aaron Nola gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. He left a few pitches up. Like, Aaron Nola, like, the story on him is He's always going to give up the home run ball. It's always like at least one home run in each start. Book it. It's like clockwork. Unfortunately, he gave up two. With Aaron Nola's stuff, when he's locating his pitches down in the zone and the curveball's playing off that, that's when Aaron Nola is at his best. But he always has the risk of, if he leaves it up, it's going to get rocked because he doesn't have that fastball and the stuff isn't that great to where, I mean, you don't want Aaron Nola giving up 3 runs in 5 innings, but it's not the worst thing in the world. To where Aaron Nola, he was fine. The thing was the offense yesterday. Now, one quote that actually genuinely pissed me off was when Rob Thompson said at pregame. He was like, well, it's really cold out. The ball gets a little slick, so it's kind of tough. And we all know the thought about Aaron Nola. He loves pitching in hot weather. Cool, that's your preference. But enough with laying out the excuses before the damn game even starts. Rob, when are the most important games pitched? When it's cold out in October. Enough with that crap. And I think Rob Thompson's a good manager, but the way he kind of just gives his guys an out, it sends loser energy throughout the clubhouse where I really didn't like that out of Rob Thompson. But other notes in game two, Justin Crawford, like I said, he made that incredible catch. Like the way he timed that ball, he's a very lengthy guy to where he has such great reach. But the thing about Justin is always timing it. He was able to get to the wall. Mind you, this is his first time playing at Citizens Bank Park. So that was a great catch. I'm very excited to see what Justin Crawford does defensively in center field because the talk about him was he's a great left fielder, but he's an average center fielder. If he can become a great defensive center fielder with his bat, I think he's going to be a damn good player for years to come. And then the comeback. So Adolis Garcia got his first big hit. Granted, he got bailed out by Jake Berger missing that pop-up in foul territory. That would have ended the game right there because the wind was going crazy. But to Adolis Garcia credit, he locked in. He had that double. And then Brandon Marsh came out with a big 2-out, 2-strike hit to tie the game. And you just felt like at that time the Phillies were going to win that game. It didn't happen. But Duran came in and the thing about Duran is he's such a good pitcher. His stuff is incredible, but he really does pitch to contact to where if Duran's ever going to be like top 2, top 3 closures in baseball, and I think he's on the doorstep of that, he needs to strike more guys out because contact as a closer is not effective. Clay Holmes is a starter, right? But he was a sinker ball pitcher to where he played more as a starter, but he was the Yankees closer to where it just leads for trouble in the 9th inning in the biggest moments of the games to where I just hope Duran were just like kind of lock in a little bit, use his fastball more effectively, don't pitch to contact, kind of like set up the fastball for a sweeper, all that kind of stuff. But if you think I'm worried about Johan Duran, I'm not. And if this is who he is, to where sometimes he runs into trouble, pitches to contact. He did it a few saves last year, I believe, against the Mets and all that kind of stuff against the Nationals. He's still one of the best closers in baseball, so I'm not too worried about that. And let me see. And then Bohm had a chance to tie the game. It was 5-4. Bryce Harper had that little dinky hit. And to make it 5-4, Bohm comes up, pops it up. And then you see on Phillies Twitter, everyone losing their freaking mind. Look, Alec Bohm had a big hit in game 1. He didn't come through in game 2. It's baseball. Things happen. I'm not worried about Alec Bohm. The thing about Alec Bohm is always going to be he's a 5-6 hitter. He's not a 4 hitter. What he does in the 4 spot is who Alec Bohm is. You can't blame the player. You got to blame the organization that has put him in this spot. And that's Dave Dombrowski. Well, whatever, dude. I mean, you went 1-1. You take your chances going into game 3 with Jesus Luzardo on the mound. It was perfectly set up for the Phillies to win 2 out of 3. But Luzardo left pitches up in the zone. He left a pitch up to Nimmo. He left a pitch up to McCutchen. Andrew McCutchen's a damn good player. To where the fact that the Pirates didn't bring him back, I think Ozuna was batting like 100 and Kutch is batting like upwards of 400. Granted, it's one series, so it'll probably even itself out. But it's always nice to see Kutch. It's not nice when he hits a home run. I'm not worried about Jesus Luzardo. I think if he just continues to stay either down or up in the zone, it's when he's more around the middle of the plate that he's going to get beat. But just not a great outing for Jesus Luzardo. Put us in a hole 5-0 to where the offense. Granted, the offense was no hit through 5 today. No hit through 5. Is Mackenzie Gore a good pitcher? Absolutely. But at some point, you got to get off early. You got to have the momentum like you did in game 1 when Schwarber hit that home run. You got to get off early. Whatever. They had a few runs late. They had a chance, but they never were able to capitalize to make it a real game. So the offense, not great, but it's one series. And the one thing that really pissed me off was Zach Pop. He sucks. Zach Pop is not a major league pitcher. He hasn't been a major league pitcher for 4 years, and for some reason, the Philadelphia Phillies signed him. What kind of gives me like some reassurance is Orion Kerkering. He also pitched on Saturday, scoreless inning, to where when he comes back, Zach Pop is going to be the first guy to the bullpen. He's going to be DFA'd or sent down, whatever his contract situation is. Doesn't matter. He's not going to be in this Philadelphia Phillies bullpen much longer. Zach McCamby, I really wish the Phillies kept him in the organization because the Rule 5 draft, to where he has to be on the big league roster for 90 days or he gets returned to the team he originally was on. He got returned. I kind of understand why they couldn't do it, because if Zach McCamby made the roster instead of Zach Pop, the same situation would have occurred if Orion Kerkering, when he was ready to come back, the first righty out of the bullpen would have to be either demoted. If Zach McCamby got demoted, he doesn't get demoted, he gets sent back to the Marlins. So it's just a situation. It's like logistics. But Zach Pop sucks. When they signed him, everyone was like, why are you signing him? But whatever. Maybe you try to get lightning in a bottle, but Zach Pop won't be here for too long. And yeah, that was pretty much today. Rob Thompson post-game said he thinks everyone in the lineup is trying to get off to a good start, and maybe they're a little anxious. Bryce Harper responded to that quote. He said, not me personally. Again, with the excuses, because it's like, I get it. You might think of that logistically, logically, like maybe that is true. But in the playoffs, everyone's a little anxious. Everyone's trying to do too much, to where you can't keep giving your guys out. You have got to say it how it is. I don't care if you're anxious. Get the job done. To where, to me, it doesn't matter. It's first series of the year, but it's just kind of that like energy and mindset, to where Rob Thompson is too calm, cool, and collective. Like, he doesn't need to say these things, but that's my gripe with Rob. I mean, I think he's a good manager, but I think sometimes he opens up his mouth and it kind of gives off loser energy, where I wish he would kind of learn to adjust that. But again, it's not the manager, it's the players. But let's get into some serious takeaways, negatives, and positives. Again, the negatives aren't going to be too much, because here's the thing. It's one series. They could sweep the Nationals, and everyone in Philadelphia is going to be saying we're going to win the World Series. That's just the ups and downs of a baseball season. But the negatives, the offense needs to be better. Will it? I don't know. But I think at worst, you still have a top 10 offense. And then again, whatever happens in October, happens in October. But the offense does need to get off to more hot starts, kind of have better at bats, kind of just stay within themselves. I think they will do that against Washington, and then they got Colorado. So we have two series. We have kind of like a soft landing after Texas to get back to where we need to be. Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper didn't look good in this series. He's still late on that damn fastball. But what Bryce Harper showed me in that one at bat in the WBC kind of gives me more, reassurance that when the moment is big in October, he's going to come through. Is he ever going to be the quote unquote elite version? I don't know. Maybe not, but it's one series, to where I think he just needs to get his timing down. But when the big moment comes up, I think he'll be fine in October when it actually matters. Otto Kemp in left field was terrible today. He just looked lost. He made like two bad reads to where he let the ball trickle down. Now, granted, didn't really do too much, but Otto Kemp, he's a damn good hitter. I think he is the perfect guy to hit against lefties when there's a lefty on the mound. Marsh sits, but you can definitely see a difference between him and Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh is a Gold Glove left fielder. Otto Kemp last year was fine in left field, but he needs to get that under control. Is there any negatives? Nah, that's pretty much the only negatives I got. Like, I'm not looking too deep into this one series. Positives. Justin Crawford seems like he's going to be an impact player, both offensively and defensively. Like I've spoken in this episode numerous times, I think that kid's just a ball player. I think he plays the game the right way. I love him in the 9-hole, turning over the lineup for Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, and Kyle Schwarber. Trey Turner's defense looked phenomenal again. Like, it was always a question mark in the sense of Trey Turner's first 2 years defensively were absolutely terrible. 2025, it was incredible. Is he going to continue to improve, or was 2025 just a blip on the radar? Was it just a really good defensive season and that's not really who he is? This series to me shows that Trey Turner is an elite defensive shortstop, to where if he can just stay locked in for the entire year, stay locked in for the playoffs on the defensive side, what he brings with the bat, he's going to be one of the best players in Major League Baseball. So Trey Turner's defense looked great. Brandon Marsh looked really good in the series. Opening day, he had 2 doubles, the big hit in game 2. I think Brandon Marsh is going to have a really good year, and it's mainly due to, I think they're finally putting him in the role that he was always meant to play. only playing against right-handed pitching. And like I said, what he brings defensively, Brandon Marsh, I feel like is underrated in the city. You have to understand what kind of player he is, and I think this was a really good start to the season for Brandon Marsh, and I think he's going to take it the entire way. Royston Stott also looked really good. Just a pure hitter. Hands are low. The swing adjustment, we've talked about it at nauseum. I really think Bryce Stott in that 5 hole is going to be very effective for the Philadelphia Phillies. To where if Bryce Harper isn't who he is, but he's still a good player, but Bryce Stott kind of takes a leap, Brandon Marsh kind of is effective the entire year and kind of make up for Bryce kind of deteriorating a little bit. Now, there's still a world where Bryce Harper returns to his elite form. I think that's very possible. We'll have to see. But at the end of the day, it's a collective lineup to where we really just have to see what they do through 162. But that'll do it for the series. Does it sucks that we lost the series? Absolutely. Do you want to win every series? Absolutely. Are you going to win every series? Absolutely not. But I think it's one series. You can kind of take it for what it is. I think the time we can actually make real assumptions is after a month or so, to where we can see some trends. Then we can kind of get worried. Like if Adolis Garcia looks the way he does at the plate in May or June, then that's going to be a talking point because he didn't look good. He was swinging at crap in the dirt. It's like he's Nick Castellanos, just plays a better defensive right field. Even though he lost that ball in the sun, Adolis Garcia is one of the best defensive right fielders in baseball. But yeah, that's the series. And then we play the Washington Nationals. We'll do a little series preview right now. Monday, tomorrow, it's going to be Taijuan Walker versus lefty Foster Griffin. So Kemp's probably going to be in there. Sosa's going to be in there. I wish there was a way to let Bryson Stott play every day, but I kind of understand in the sense of Edmundo Sosa needs to play at some points, and he rakes against lefties, and he plays a damn good defensive second base. I really wish Edmundo Sosa knew how to play the outfield. Like, we tried that for that one game in Atlanta. He made that great catch, but then the communication thing to where it just doesn't work out. If Edmundo Sosa could be the left field platoon, I think this would put this team in a much better position to let Stotty play second base, but I don't think that's possible. And then Tuesday, going to be the much anticipated debate or debut of Andrew Painter. Very excited to see how he does in his first start, see if the fastball plays up. He has kind of an easy landing point. The Washington Nationals aren't a good team. And then we're going to be facing Zach Littell on Tuesday. That's Wednesday. Is that? No, that is Tuesday. So it's going to be Andrew Painter versus Zach Littell. Zach Littell's a good pitcher. But we'll see. That'll be a very exciting game. Wednesday afternoon, 1:00 getaway game, Christopher Sanchez versus Cade Cavalli. We better win that game, to where I think just take 2 out of 3 of the Nationals, go into Colorado 2-2, and then, or 3-3, and then we'll be good to go. But let me know what you guys think about the first series losing to the Texas Rangers. Are you guys worried? Are you guys not worried? What kind of things did you see that are like talking points? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and that'll do it for this episode of Baseball for Maniacs. And as always, go Phils.